Hello everyone, Professor MoneyPigTrading. Today, February 24. I made the slide on February 6th, but just so busy, never had a chance to make this video. Today, February 24 already. We want to talk about this AXTI as a material company that provide materials for semiconductor company to make a kind of unique kind of chip. And we believe you still have room to go up more than 100% from this AI wave. And I know most people actually learn about MoneyPigTrading from biotech or shipping stock, but actually I've been doing AI for more than 10 years. I've been wanting to make this AI series since last year, but I've house shopping, bought a house and have a kid. It's just so busy that this AI series is actually 1 year delayed, and we have seen what happened, right? All the NVIDIA, AMD went up like crazy. But still not too late. There are still some undervalued stock that I still want to introduce to the investment community. What happened is we actually showed a 65,000 benchmarking account since 2022. We just used this real money to play. And as of now, this week, the account actually closed at $140,000. So that's about 120% return, real decent. One reason it's performing so well, of course, Iovance Biotherapeutics. You probably have seen many videos about that. On top of that, this week we're actually doing extra well because of AXTI that we're going to introduce. And also we ride this crazy air rally because I'm in the field actually. So we know how much value it can provide to the world. So we're seeing this chip stock being chased like crazy. AMD we actually bought when the market pulled back. We bought at 123. Right now the return is 43%, right? Or $2,700 in this benchmarking account. And also NVIDIA, we're riding away really well. We not only long NVIDIA, but also use NVDX. This ETF is a 2 times long NVIDIA. Right now, this long has been up about 160% or almost $5,000 in the benchmarking account. And that's why our account is breaking all-time high, because it's all this AXTI, NVIDIA, AMD, Iovance push. So talk about AXTI this week. This Thursday is actually breaking out after a really long time of consolidation. It actually pushed to 4.85, pushed back to 3.86. So almost up 100% on Friday this week. What's going on? Let's take a look. Really quick disclaimer, we actually long AXTI. We're not investment advisor, so please invest at your own risks. In the Discord channel, we mentioned December 14. I personally started build out AXTI at 2.67 per share. And then when it pulled back to 2.38 per share, I actually added another 1,000 share in the benchmarking account, and I actually paid really well. As you can see, this daily chart is a downtrend, and eventually break out on Thursday, Friday after about 2 months of wait. And we're going to make a separate video for trading operation on the options side, because this stock is a little tricky if you trade options. But in terms of trading the stock, is actually more straightforward. So you can see right now, I actually accidentally sell 1,000 share on Friday. In the morning, I mean to buy 1,000 share more. So I accidentally sold 1,000 and bought 2,000 back. So average cost a little higher than what I want, but the net gain is still doing really well. Right now, it's one of the largest holding in our benchmarking accounts. And yeah, hopefully it will pay off. So let's talk about why it actually popped on Thursday/Friday this week. What happened is their 24 Q1 revenue guidance is actually ending the 6 consecutive quarters of revenue declines. So right now they're looking at 24 Q1 is about $20 to $22 million revenue. Finally break this downtrend in terms of revenue, and so does the stock price, right? The other thing is the CEO in the Q&A session on the earnings calls finally said that they start to see AI data center customers start coming, potentially could push the annual revenues higher. Though he's not very sure, we'll talk about in the conclusion slide. But we could see the momentum start coming on the stock and the earnings and revenues. So just want to highlight, actually material companies serve the semiconductor industry. So what they do is actually, first, this company is the longest small cap in the market. Okay, it was founded in 1986, so quite a long time. Eventually the IPO in 1998. And they actually built something called alternative wafers when silicon doesn't work in those high temperature, high pressure environment. When those silicon semiconductor doesn't work, you have to use some other alternative materials that we're going to mention really quick in the next few slides to make this, they call third generation semiconductor. And then some semiconductor company will use them to make some kind of chips to be used in those edge cases. So their operation headquarters is actually in Fremont, California. So it's a Bay Area company, Silicon Valley. Manufacturers actually all in China because those rare earth materials cannot be explored or taken out in the US. So that's why they move most of the operation in China. And they actually plan to IPO their subdivision at some point, and though the IPO has been blocked forever. I do think if that IPO happened, I don't know, this year, next year, who knows, that could bring up AXTI price even more, because even the manufacturer side in China actually could generate more revenues by holding this stock if their IPO. And in the Chinese Shanghai exchange, the stock price goes up a lot higher. That means AXTI could have a lot of trading revenues, right? So that could mean their revenue goes up a lot higher from here. So that's another big catalyst on the horizon, though nobody knows. They have been fighting for this IPO forever. So I just don't even think about it, you know. If it happens, kind of like Lotto, great for a shareholder like us. But if not, then it is what it is. So this is kind of like a brief background of the company. And then on the daily chart, when we make it in February 6th, the slide, it was a beautiful bull flag, has been consolidated forever, like we mentioned, finally started break this downtrend. And on Thursday, finally, after 2 months of waiting, this stock actually eventually break out. This is a very typical cyclical stock, just like any other semiconductor material company. Even NVIDIA, people don't forget, it is actually a cyclical stock, okay? So every a year and a half, the green cycle, they actually eventually went up. And then it usually follow with about 2 to 3 years of red circle, or the downtrend highlighted in the red square. And then follow with another 1 or 2 years of uptrend. That's back to when COVID started. This stock actually went up from $2 to $15, okay? And then they actually over inventory. A lot of their customer overly order and eventually cancel their order, build out their inventory, and that's why their stock take about 2 years and a half, drop from 15.84, this red circle, to the recent low $2.1 per share. And now we believe they bottom out and start to push back up. Might take a year and a half, but you know how crazy this AI wave is, seen an AMD NVIDIA price action. This stock could push up a lot higher, faster this time, but we just have to see. So the first product they provided is called indium phosphate. It's actually mostly used in medical sensor, 5G, and data center. In the Fire Chat conference, they hosted in mid-January this year, they're expecting a 24 Q3, the demand will come back for indium phosphate. And in the December 2023 earnings, Oracle, which is one of the largest data center provider, they said they plan to build 100 more data center on top of the 16 existing data centers. So when I saw that earnings, I was like, God damn, just loan this AXTI, you know? Because Oracle already said that means there's a lot of demand there. And if they build more data center, that means they need more indium phosphate. So that means they need AXTI product. In this earning, and apparently I'm right? So very lucky, and I guess great judgment, I would say. And in this earnings, and the other more exciting news is the CEO said that the AI data center industry is moving into 800 gigabytes / 1.2 terabyte of rapid data transfer, because now with all this generative AI, there's a lot of data being transferred in the data center, especially now we're talking about OpenAI, right? This automated video generation through text, right? That's a lot of data that needs to be processed. So a data center has to move with rapid data transfer, which will require this indium phosphate. And there's no alternative. They have to use it. So right now the CEO does mention the first customer started by this indium phosphate using AI data center. More might coming, but he just doesn't know like how fast and how many. Right now he does expect at least one now. There might be more coming up. So that just created a lot of excitement on Friday. You see the stock price has been chased more than almost 100% up. And the other thing to look at is indium phosphate is you have to look at its future price, okay? So if you see when they stock up so much of indium phosphate back to COVID-19, so that's when the stock take off, right? Like a lot of demand during those time, and the future price continue to go up, and so does AXT. I remember the stock we showed in the 2 slides ago went up from $2 to $15, and when they overstock, the future price of indium actually dropped. And if the management is right, like their inventory that they built, during COVID, we might start to see their they can start to sell a new batch of indium phosphate that they export and produce, and you can see the future price is already higher. So that not only means they can actually sell higher price of indium phosphate. That could also potentially boost the revenue. So that's really good news. And the other product they produce is called gallium arsenide. It's actually mostly used in LED, micro LED for Apple, and laser, 3D sensing, etc. So unfortunately, the same thing, just like indium phosphate, as after COVID-19, the inventory built out as well. And the other kind of double bad thing for AXTI is 2022, the mobile market actually demand dropped. But now we start to return. LED market, the management also said it started to return. Micro LED on Apple started using more and more, so it also started to grow. So they do believe the demand on gallium arsenide will continue to grow in 2024, 2025, okay, which will also improve the revenues. And this is the same thing like indium phosphate, right? The future price of gallium actually keep going out during COVID, and when they build out the inventory, because they are a lot of people are buying it, right? Now it's dropping in the past 2 years. That makes AXTI really miserable, right? $15 per share to $2 per share. Well, how worse can it be? But now it's actually pushing back. So again, if they can start to burn down the existing inventory and start to sell new gallium arsenide in second half this year, we do think the revenue is going to be a lot higher from here. So that's also a good news. Again, cyclical stocks, so it's always a cycle. We still think the bullish cycle start to come and probably will last for the next 6 months to 18 months. One thing to notice is we make this screenshot on February 6, 2024. This is a small cap company. Okay, so its stock price, if it doesn't really have its own catalyst, it's actually highly correlated to small cap Russell 2000. So for example, this is a daily chart AXTI. This between October 2023 to February 2024. And you can see it's highly correlated to the small cap in the same time, right? When small cap went up, when Fed said might drop the interest rate this year, AXTI also pushed up from 1.89 all the way to 2.9 at some one point before the earnings. And now just range bound together with small cap. So that also means is this stock will be extra sensitive to 10-year yield. And right now, as we talk, 10-year yield is actually trying to break above 43, which is right here, which could put pressure on small cap. And so does AXTI without catalyst. Okay, this is one thing to keep in mind. And also, this is a very small cap. That only the market cap right now is about $180 million. So that means if some institute decide to dump the stock, it could cause a lot of volatility. That's the other thing. The investor has to have more stomach to hold the stock for longer term, like over 6 months, because it's pretty quite normal to have seen up and down more than 10% a day with a small cap like this. Unlike big cap like Nvidia, AMD, Google, Amazon, it's really hard to move those big cap with $1 trillion, if not hundreds of billion dollars of market cap. One thing to keep in mind. So the management does mention the guidance and target price. Right now, guided again $85 to $90 annual revenue this year, which based on the historical data should at least send the stock to $5 to $6 per share. And this stock doesn't really dilute that much in the past 5-ish years. So when back to 2019, 2020, when the stock was having this annual revenue, the stock was traded at $5 to $6 a share. So that's where we got this number from. And if AXTI could see more AI demand and start to order more materials they produced, we could see 10 to 200 million extra annual revenues. Second half this year or first half next year, we could see the stock price spike up to $8 to $10. So right now, when Friday closed, $4. So if we can push it to $8 to $10 second half or 2025 first half, we could see 100 to 150% return still. So we are pretty kind of cautiously optimistic about this stock, and we think right now with all the AI chip stock being chased to a ridiculous price level of valuation, we still think AXTI is relatively undervalued, at least for now, but it could move really fast. So thanks for watching. This is kind of another small cap we cover. So again, there's an AI series coming. We're going to cover more big cap AI stock as well. But yeah, if you're interested in our paid Discord community, make sure to check us out at www.moneypigtrading.com. Make sure to like this video and follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook group, and Reddit on MoneyPigTrading. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next video. Bye bye.